With around $550, I was able to purchase around 600 of the new SPY TECH and Arabesque skins, and some of them, like this number 20 ranked Mac 10 video cam, cost me only 8 cents. This number 4 ranked Nova Smart Gun worth $20, and this number 20 ranked Glock 18 worth $20 as well. But to understand how some of these prices are even possible, we'll have to go back around 2 nights ago when these collections first hit the market. Because what happened was a direct result of what people were expecting to happen, and because of those expectations, it actually never got the chance to come to fruition. So comes release night. Arabesque and SPY TECH hit the market for the very first time, and the prices opened way lower than people probably expected them to open at, and most people justified not purchasing by using past Armory rotations as their logic. Right, the Armory collections in the past have dipped 2 to 3 weeks after they were released, so they're going to wait until that point in time in which to buy. Right, one look at the older Armory collections, right, prices start quite high, they tend to trend down over 2 to 3 weeks, they hit their bottom point, and then they start to trend upwards afterwards. Now that pattern is very much real, it's happened before in the past, and if prices started high when these skins first hit the market, you'd be absolutely right, but the skins didn't start at a high price. In fact, they started way, way lower than they should have been. Sort of how like the AK Aphrodite started, right? It started underpriced and then it started to trend upwards immediately rather than hit a low point and then trend upwards afterwards. The first listings were the ones setting the floors for maybe the foreseeable future of these skins price floors. And if nobody buying on day one was priced in and people were acting on that, well then undercutting is going to continue to happen and eventually you're going to have low prices on night one. So people's expectations created for a different landscape a couple of nights ago, and it's why some of these collections were super cheap and why I bought quite a bit of skins, roughly 600 to be exact. But that subdued buying pressure is really not the only reason why these prices were so low a couple of nights ago. It was a few different things, right? Things that we've talked about at different times, but now we can talk about them together. Thank you skins.com for sponsoring this video. Skins.com is a P2P trading site with options for insta withdrawal or insta purchasing if you so choose. If you're looking to exit, skins.com has got you covered. Cash out from a wide array of different methods, including wire transfer, bank transfer, crypto, or Skrill. Come along and be a part of the next generation of CS2's skin marketplaces with skins.com. For one, star hoarding, right? When these older collections were dropped, especially the first couple of ones, right? Graphic design, sport and field, overpass these first 3 Armory collections. I mean, really, how much could you hoard stars when the collections came out the night you were able to obtain stars in the first place, right? These ones came out with the Armory update, thus there were no people hoarding stars because it didn't exist before these collections existed. So, supply didn't come in at quite a fast rate, especially at the start, right? They actually started to ramp up over time, which is just not going to be the case for any new collection coming in. With Train 2025, you had a couple of months, I believe 6 months, to save up some stars, but people didn't know if the Armory rotations were going to remove collections, right? A lot of people suspected it was just going to be an ever-growing catalog of skins, so people weren't super keen on the Armory, thus you didn't have too much pressure in terms of people hoarding stars. Now that we've had collections removed, and these are our first collections that we've gotten since graphic design was removed, people anticipated this collection rotation and thus people hoarded stars, and thus you've had a ridiculous amount of supply come in the first couple of days or so. The second biggest change is how the community market works, right? Now that we have a new system in terms of you don't have to wait until 3 a.m. my time to list your items, right? You list exactly 7 days plus the rounded hour to list your items, means that price discovery is going to happen a little bit quicker, right? For people in the US, for example, we had to go to sleep basically and wake up the next day and then we were able to list our items, right? Now, if you bought something at 5 p.m., 7 days later at 6 p.m., you'll be able to sell it. Thus, you're going to have more people selling in general. And if you have listings coming in every hour instead of every 24 hours, you have people undercutting others every hour as opposed to every 24 hours. So it's easier to undercut, and thus price is going to fall faster and find equilibrium faster. And the last reason, right, it's just summer. Less people are playing the game. The market's not doing great right now. So historically, this is where you buy, right? This is the dip, the general macro dip of the year. And then, of course, you have the ROI, right? And the redemption ROIs for these collections are low. Simple as. I think it's around 50 to 60%, depending on the collection you're looking at. People that are paying attention to ROI see that and go, okay, I'm not redeeming that. Smart. But low ROI doesn't mean stay away. Low ROI means the skins are cheap relative to the redemption cost, which is $1.60 if you're not doing any arbitrage and you're just buying Armory passes for the price in which they're worth. But it does mean the bots that do take advantage of high ROI collections, such as Sport and Field for most of its lifespan, they're not going to be redeeming these collections because simply if they redeem at scale, they're going to expect 60% of their initial investment returned back to them. Casual players will still open the Armory collections, right? Because they don't give a shit, right? Look at any other case. It historically always provides 50 to 60% returns. They don't seem to mind. So you'll still have supply coming in, but not at this inflated, being taken advantage of rate that the previous Armory collections were. So the ROI aware people are going to stave away. So less incoming supply in the next couple of weeks for sure, which means that the bulk of the listings were in the last few days or so. So no buyers. Your pretty high day one supply, a forecast of less supply coming in the future because of low ROI, users undercutting each other on the market hourly instead of daily, a market in the middle of the summer, with every gun having a 0 to 1 float range. Safe to say the first night was the bottom or one of the bottoms. So I spent around $500 to $600. Took profits from some pumps and things like that and just placed a lot of buy orders around the entire of the two collections. So let's start with what I bought. Now we are first going to start with the factory new skins, right? I got roughly 24 of these Scar 20s Sirocco scripts. I got around 16 of these FAMAS Snake Songs, 11 Nova Morning Suns, 9 PP Bison Traders, 7 MP9 Dune Asps. I got 7 of the Mac 10 video cams. I got this one .01. Got this one 004. Paid 6 cents for this, as I showed before. I got 7 of the R8 Revolver Monarchs. I got this OP Black Box for $25. I got 7 of these M4 Dark Operatives for roughly $6 to $6.50. This one I paid $15 for. This rank 32 one though. I got this Glock, as I showed before, number 28 now, .003 for $20. I got this rank number 5 now, Nova Smart Gun for $20. And I got this rank number 9 M4 Fatal Glitch for, I believe, $143. So overall, it's a pretty good haul. Right, I've beaten it into your skull at this point, but not a lot of people know just how rare factory new skins are when the float range is full, and I doubt a lot of people know that on top of that, if you have a full collection of full float range guns, how rare factory new is going to be across the board. Right, most of those factory new skins in my inventory are ranked top 1,000 just because there simply isn't 1,000 of these skins in factory new yet, despite all of the redemptions we saw on the first night. Right, and there hasn't been any trade-ups done to these factory new skins yet, meaning that there's no .06999 ones that fill your buy orders. You just get some .01s, you get some .02s in there on top of the .05s, .06s, especially when a lot of the redemptions were coming from just casual players that, you know, don't know anything about this stuff, and they just sell right into the buy order with their great float, and you get good value for your buy order. But there's only 120 factory new skins there, right? Not a lot of the factory new buy orders filled because there isn't a lot of factory new skins to go around. The majority of these plays were minimal wear skins. Now, a lot of people set their buy orders up under .08, and that's a mistake when you're doing minimal wear buy orders with these skins. Why is that? Well, allow me to show you. Shout out CS2 Liquid, site's out now. I'll do a full video on it in a few days or tomorrow or something. But if we go to the SPY TECH collection, for example, and we look at, let's go this one. One of our dead zones here is .07 to .08, meaning that when you get this M4 from the Armory, if you get it dropped to you and you get it in factory new or minimal wear, you're not going to get a skin between .07 and .08. Anyone that does come in between these two float ranges right here are going to be a guaranteed traded up skin. So if you put your buy orders in from .07 to .08, they simply weren't going to be filled, right? You may get 1 or 2 that were done through trade ups over the past week or so, but the volume isn't going to be there. So what you had to do was actually look for 0.08 to 0.09, because those are going to be the most abundant, lowest float ones, especially ones that people get dropped to them that, you know, don't know what they're doing and just list for the, you know, base price. And as I'm about to show you, it's worked very, very well. You can take a look here. Every skin is from 0.08 to 0.09. And right here, even they're starting at 21 cents, 16 cents on Steam. I probably got most of these for an average of around 9 to 15 cents per on CS Float. Right, I just set the highest buy order for this float range. And thus, we just got a bunch of beautiful 0.08 to 0.09 skins, which don't have the value monetarily of a factory new skin, but they carry the same, you know, actual utility, right? If you take 7 of these, 3 factory new ones, you pretty much guarantee yourself a factory new outcome, just making sure your math is square there, but that's a general rule. All right, 0.08, 0.08, 0.081, 0.089, 0.087, everything's between 0.08 and 0.09. And I think I got some of these blues for 80 cents each, and all of these light blues for 15 cents each again. The quantities don't really matter too much here. These P250s, I set the buy order wrong by accident, so I just kind of have these. Maybe I'll do them in a giveaway or something. Right, so I have a lot of trade-up fillers to do trade-ups with, right? If the trade-up is more profitable, or you just sell the fillers, right? If these are going for a high, expensive price, 0.08s on the market a couple days from now, then I might just sell them off as is. But if the blues go up in price, factory new, such that these are still a profitable move, then I'll probably just do the trade-ups myself. Only time will tell there, but I put myself in a very good position by focusing on these more so than the factory new ones, right? Just set the buy orders, let the people sell into your buy orders. You really don't have to do anything. In the meantime, you go search for other ones that are a little bit underpriced or something that catches your eye. That's why I got so many of these like really low float skins. I'm expecting them to be beaten over time, but you know, just for the float to price ratio was super low for some of these skins, like especially the Nova, this Glock. Some of these R8s I got for like $250, $220. This one I bought for around $15, but this one I bought for like $4. You know what I mean? These Mac 10 video cams are going for $4 here. I believe I bought them for max 90 cents on CS Float. And you can just look, right? 0.02, rank 403. 0.02, rank 600. 0.05, this is ranked 400. That's how rare these skins are. I believe I got a purple AUG, right? Where's this purple AUG? 0.058. And it's ranked 400th, right? There's not even probably 500 of these things in existence. This one is even more telling. 0.0699, rank 186. So this has got to probably be the highest float one. Or it's somewhere near it. Still not loading, however. I mean, 186.699. I mean, we're talking, there's less than 200 of these in factory new right now. And I got it for $25. So yes, this is going to sell for more than $25 on the flip. Maybe not substantially more, but like $10 here. $1 here, $1 here. Probably like a nice 100% return I could expect from what I purchased here a couple of days ago. Other than that, thanks for sticking around. Just wanted to show you guys what I purchased. Check out CS2 Liquid if you want a new skin site. I mean, I put quite a bit of work into this one. I think it's much better than the one we had before. I'll see you all soon. Peace.